Welcome once again to the preview edition of Season 5 of Quoth the Raven, Lewis Brightraven. I'm your host, Lewis Brightraven, 30-year veteran writer, illustrator, editor, publisher of comics, science fiction, fantasy, horror, and role-playing games. And with me this week, my regular co-host, John Norris. And, of course, we're getting there we go. Here he is.
Hey, everybody. Good to be back.
Yes, it's been a while. In fact, it's been almost 4 months since I've been doing this. Had to take a break after 2022. Had some medical issues that had to be taken care of for both myself and my father. And truth be told, at the end of 22, I was a little bit burned out and just needed a break from everything. So that's what I did. And we're in the process of getting things ready to go back into full swing here on the channel. Hopefully later this month. But from now, let's talk about what you've been doing for the last 3 months.
Well, right now I've been learning the music for Into the Woods because there's a local high school that's going to be doing that as their spring production, and they asked me to play for it. And it's Stephen Sondheim, and it's great music, but it's not easy. So that's what I've been doing lately.
Okay. For those who don't know, I did an appearance at Chris Foss's vault sale last month. Did okay there, and we're going to be doing some other appearances at different places moving forward into the 2023 year. But in the meantime, let's talk about what's comics are arriving in stores this week. We know that we're getting 4 different books. I'm getting 3, and John's getting 1 for sure. And those are the Junk Rabbit #1 from Image Comics by Jimmy Robinson, Avengers War Across Time #4 from Marvel by Paul Levitz and Alan Davis, Scarlet Witch #4 from Marvel. Please forgive me, I don't remember the exact creators' names on that series right now. I'm getting it, but I'm actually been holding off reading until I get the whole 5-issue arc. I know I'm getting the Daughterman covers. That's all I can really remember. And you're getting Disney Villain Scar #1 from Daughterman.
Yep.
There are actually 10 different covers to this book.
Yep.
Was this the cover you were looking at getting? Or have you seen some?
I didn't specify a cover because I think they're all pretty great.
Okay, that's fair enough. Well, that's the one I figured that get the main one anyway. But those are the 4 that we saw that we're going to definitely buy. Now there are some people, of course, who have actually gotten into joining the show and be subscribing to the channel while we were away. I actually got
really.
So I want to thank the 13 people who subscribed while we were away. That was pretty. I didn't know that was going on because I didn't get told from YouTube that I'd actually gotten subscribers. So that was kind of an interesting turn of events.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, something that was quite interesting was the questions I was getting, and I need to go ahead and get into where that is from some of the people, and some of them are our regulars, but a lot of people were asking some of these questions, and it's going to pertain into what we talk about with the rest of the comics as well. So, but let's go ahead and get into those questions before we continue with the other. And that is, hey, BR, since you're coming back to the YouTube scene, are you going to address stuff that other online channels talk about? Comics by Perch, Critical Thinking with Wes, Comics Tropes, etc. from multiple parties. I'd rather not. I mean, there's always going to be topics that we're all going to talk about and that's one thing. But no, as I've said before, I don't like it when people send me, "Did you see what so and so said? What do you think?" It kind of gets a little bit grating. I don't. It doesn't matter what they have to say. Per se. I mean, they're allowed to have their opinions, and I'll have mine. But so there's that. But because of that, there were some other questions that were asked as well. Um, of course, this is one of the topics that everybody's talking about. Disney has now absorbed Marvel Entertainment into their parent company, into Disney. And of course, Ike Perlmutter, who was the CEO, head guy of Marvel, has been let go as a result. So people are speculating. Is it, and Miguel Esser from Illinois asks, is this another sky is falling panic from fans? Is the departure of Perlmutter a good or a bad thing? It's the truth is Perlmutter really hasn't had that much of a hand in the industry the last couple of years. Yes, technically, Dan Buckley, the president of Marvel Publishing, was answering to him, but he was also answering to Kevin Feige, who we will be answering to now that it's strictly Disney. I'm not saying there won't be any changes moving forward, but I haven't heard anything that suggests that people are going to be leaving in droves. Like any of the key players in editorial, I haven't heard anything about them leaving. And unless you remove Sobalski and Brevoort and a few others, you're going to get pretty much what you've been getting. So I don't think there's going to be any significant change in terms of that. That having been said, how long that will last is questionable because there are things going on. Abrams and other companies have been getting licenses to do the Marvel characters. So will Disney expand on using that and let other people do license books? And how is that going to go? That's what that was we're speculating about, but there's nothing right at the moment that really speaks to me as something that needs to be, yes, this is going to happen. But things will probably develop in the next 6 to 10 months on that. Have you heard anything about that, John?
I have not, actually.
Okay, so that's pretty much what I think about that. And again, Joe Quesada has left Marvel. He left it last year, and now he's working with Amazon. Now there's people speculating that is he making comics for them, or is he just heading a division where they're acquiring options for comics for development for film and television? What I have read suggests more the latter, and that makes more sense for Amazon because they're more of a multimedia company rather than a publisher. Not that they don't have print-on-demand publishing and stuff, but they've never really I don't see that as something that Joe really is interested in. I think he's more taken with trying to be Kevin Feige for Amazon, more or less, and then getting licenses and options for independent companies, independent properties, and maybe even some of his own that haven't been adapted already. So that's where I think that's going to go, but we'll see. And of course, people are asking, am I going to have merch, T-shirts and comics and stuff later this year? That's the plan. We'll wait and see. I'm not going to make any promises. I'm in the process. I have a T-shirt design that's done. I've got to get in touch with different people and see who can actually make the shirt for a price that I think is affordable. And once that's available, then we'll proceed from there. And we'll probably do 2 or 3 different designs. And then as far as the comics, I met someone at the Vaults sale a couple of weeks back at Chris Voss's Vault sale here in Columbia. And I don't know if, what I'm going to have to pay him. He's got some other projects that he's working on currently. But he might be my replacing me as the artist for Spacey, the alien. Instead of me drawing it, I'll just write it and do layouts and thumbnails and let him do the finished pencils, and then I'll ink it. Possibly. We'll see. If not, then I'll do it by myself, but we'll see where that goes. And there's some other projects as well. So I think that kind of gets into things. Now, part of the reason that first question was important about Perch and Wes and the others is because one of Perch's biggest redundant discussions is how there's no kids comics in American comics. It's all manga or scholastic. And that's where we came into comics this week, because there's a lot of kids comics that aren't scholastic or manga. And we're going to point them out to you this week. Okay? Because that needs to happen. I'm kind of tired of people telling me there's no kids comics when there are. I just have to get to the screen. And it doesn't want to go there, of course. We got quite a bit of selection. So for this week, this Wednesday, here's just some of the books. This is not all the books for kids and YA titles for ages 7 to 14. This is just some of them. From Random House Graphics, Grace Needs Space, original graphic novel. It's about a young girl who gets in an argument with her mother and goes out on a field trip on a space station or to a space station, and disaster strikes, and she has to try and figure out how to succeed, get out of disaster and get back home to her mother, or have her mother come help her. We have All Action Archie and Friends #1 from Archie Publications. The theme of this is the giant manga mechas type characters. So it's Archie and his friends as the Power Rangers or Voltron Force or that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. We have Otis and Peanut from Owl Kids. Let me see if I can go ahead and enlarge that a little. Does that make it a little bit larger for you guys to see?
It does for me.
Okay. I don't really know exactly what that one's about, but it looks basically like a buddy, just two buddies and their little adventures probably. We have Gunhild Volume 1 graphic novel from Saturday AM, which is basically like a Jotun, a child Jotun giant, which is the Jotunheim giants from Asgard. Loki is involved in maybe causing hijinks for her to figure out and get through, and just trying to figure out her place in that universe, basically, is what that book is about. We have The Mighty Bite hardcover from Amulet Books by Nathan Hale. It's about a cockroach and an ape or a giant gorilla and a crocodile and other characters in a post-apocalyptic wasteland, and how do they survive the different things going on in that. We have Whiz Kit hardcover from Anthem Books for Young Readers. Basically, it's a one-eyed cat child who's a wizard and going out on an adventure. Mm-hmm. Tiny Fox and Great Boar from Oni Press. Another, two friends, animals on adventures. Heart of the City Lost and Found from Andrews McNeil. Heart of the City is a, I believe it's a web comic that's been very modestly successful by Steens, and Andrews McNeil collects them into trades. Mm-hmm. We have Keepsakers, Defenders of the Dark from Invader Comics. Looks like animals fighting against, nighttime monsters. They protect their the kids from monsters under the bed or behind the closet or whatever.
Kind of sounds like Lions, Tigers, and Bears from a few years ago.
Yeah, that's a very good possibility. It's by Tayson Martindale. I haven't had a chance to look at it see anything preview on it, but it sounds interesting enough. We have Parachute Kids. Now, this is one of the few books from Scholastic. It is basically about 3 siblings who have come from other countries or from another country to America, and how are they going to make it on their own in America, more or less. We have Phoebe and Her Unicorn, Volume 17. Well, if we're at the 17th volume, it's got to be a pretty successful series. And this volume is called Punk Rock Unicorn. And the cover just grabbed my eye. I thought that was, just something I thought was pretty cool looking for kids. Andrews McMeel is the publisher. We have Serafina and the Black Cloak by Disney Hyperion. It's kind of a female version of Harry Potter, but her parent is like the butler to all the rich kids' families, and the rich kids start disappearing, and she has to try and discover where the kids have been disappeared to before she disappears or gets kidnapped or whatever. So that's what that book's about. We have the 39 Clues, Book 1. This is an adaptation of the Rick Riordan YA novels. Ethan Young is doing the adaptation for Scholastic. If you've read the 39 Clues, it's a pretty wild yarn, so it's a pretty cool looking thing to get there, to get in start on that. And then we have Wombats Go Camping from Viking Books for young readers. So we're talking about 14 books just this week, and only 2 of them are from Scholastic, and none of them are manga. And all Perch says is there's nothing but Scholastic and manga for kids. So I would say he is mistaken.
Yes, it looks that way.
Now, to be fair to Perch, just because these books exist does not mean they're regularly ordered and marketed by comic book store retailers. But that's a different discussion. But when you say there's nothing for kids, that implies that nothing exists. And that's where I have my beef with him on that, because it does exist. It's just that it's not being properly ordered and marketed in the comic book stores, or perhaps arguably in bookstores as well. But some of these books I've already seen in Walmart today. Some of these books I saw at not Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. So I know that they're out there. So, at least we know that they're there for people to check out. And most of those books run between $9 and $14. There's a couple of them that are a little bit higher. The Archie book is actually only $2.99. So if you go to the comic shop, look for that, because it's cheaper than your regular comics anyway. So we got that for our kids. Now, let's see. Ted Davies has given me a thumbs up over on Facebook. And that's good to see, as always. Now, some people are asking me if there was going to be any changes in the format to the show for season 5. And a little bit, but not too much. It's pretty much going to be similar. We're just going to try and do things a little bit differently. This is what things are going to tend to look like. On Mondays, we're going to do crowdfunding talk. What I'm going to do there is do the reviews of crowdfunding I see on Indiegogo and Kickstarter and Zoop and whatever other platforms. If you are a creator and you want to send me a link to your page to let me know you're there, please do. I'll be happy to look at it. And if I see something I like, I'll certainly promote you. The exact time on the Mondays, I'm not sure just yet. It'll probably be between 5 and 7 p.m. is probably what it's going to be on Mondays. Tuesdays, we'll do what we just did, what's in stores this week. It'll be a shorter episode type thing where I just talk about what I'm getting or what I see on the thing. John may or may not be on with me to talk about it, but if John sees something, he'll let me know. If he's not with me, he'll let me know, and I'll let you know what he thinks. We're not going to have shows on Wednesdays because that's comic book day and everybody's buying their books and reading and trying to get caught up anyway. Thursdays is our roundtable discussion and live draw, small live draw. I'm going to have guest creators and other people, and we're going to have just a topic of discussion for the night. We'll see what we're talking about. It might even connect to what we're drawing. So we'll have that. That'll be at 9 p.m. on Thursdays. And then John and I will be here on Fridays at 8 p.m. for the movie TV discussion. And then weekends will be live draws. And then we'll have our Q&A shorts 2 to 3 times a week as well. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have been asking me, why not just do multiple pieces a day the way some people do? And it's like, no, not live. No, I don't have that much time to do that. But I think what they want me to do is like record and like edit stuff out and do things like that. So we'll see. Now, most of you are familiar with what we started at the beginning of the show with our music that John wrote and just the open plain scene. That's not going to be the opening for season 5. We're in the midst of developing an animated opening sequence, and John's music is actually going to be played by a rock band. So it's being re-recorded, and so when we start the new season, you're going to get a whole new opening, so you'll know when season 5 begins. It'll be clearly opening with that. And we'll also have an outro at the end of the show as well. It'll be animated sequence with a scrolling credits. So we got a lot of changes coming up, and hopefully they'll be ready. Let's see. It won't be next week because next Monday I have medical appointments, and next Thursday I will be seeing my tax guy and finishing up my taxes for the year. So it'll probably be either the 17th or the 20th is when we're shooting for to get this new season started. So I don't know what his schedule is like. When do you start doing the show for your the prom or for the Into the Woods?
I've got a couple of rehearsals on the 19th, the 22nd, the 23rd, and 24th, and then the actual show is 4 nights, April 26th, 27th, 28th, and 29th.
Okay. So basically, if I start on the 17th or the 20th, you'll be available, most likely. As far as you can tell.
Probably.
We'll see. And then if not, like we say, we'll hold off on the movie talk until he's freed up his schedule a little bit. Okay. Now there are some other things that people wanted me to share. I've been gone a while, and I did do a couple of appearances at stores and conventions, and people want to know what I've been drawing. So we're going to go ahead and pull out this big honking portfolio here and share. Just give me a moment. I'm going to get this, hopefully get the right lighting for this. All right. Here we go. This is a recreation piece I did over recreating a John Byrne cover from issue 289. Go ahead and... Now, this is a combination of me redrawing the whole thing and emulating it as close to John Byrne as possible. But the logo design here and the text here that you see is actually scanned and pasted in over the art, so as the text is as well. So that was one piece I did. I did a lot of these kind of pieces. We've got a 220 from Fantastic Four. Again, emulating Byrne. We have an emulation of the Uncanny, recreation of 116 of Uncanny X-Men by Byrne and Austin. 78. We have a recreation of The Horns of the Rhino, issue 41 of Amazing Spider-Man after John Romita. We had, whoops, sorry about that. Didn't know my camera was going to twist like that. We have a Prince Namor, #1, recreation over John Buscema and Sal Brodsky. I did make some changes from the actual original art. Originally, he has the wristbands in the figure, but he doesn't have them here or here. I added those in to make it more consistent throughout the image. And these are all available for purchase. You can contact me at Lewis Bright Raven, Quoth Raven LBR72@gmail.com if you are interested in any of those. We have Black Cat #50, Mystery, recreation after Kramer and Elias. I did make some slight changes to the art. If you look very closely at the eyes, you will see those veins in the eyeballs. They aren't there in the actual original artwork. I just made a few changes because I didn't want to make it look exactly like the piece. I like to change them a little bit so that nobody can confuse them with the originals. Not that anybody should. This is Authentic Police Cases #6 recreation after Matt Baker. Of course, this is tripping over here. We got Conan Barbarian #95. Again, the logos are put in there from a thing, and I try to do the rest by myself by hand. This is after John Buscema. And I don't know who inked the actual issue. I forget, because it wasn't John himself. Then we have a Spider-Man recreation after Mike Zeck. Mark Andrew Smith is here, one of our friends. He says Dick Tracy is public domain next year. After seeing these covers, I think you could do a cool 40-page book. To be honest, I'm really not a Dick Tracy guy, but maybe, I don't know. I could at least try, I suppose. If it's public domain, I'm sure there's plenty of people who are looking to do it. This is my inks over Peter Vale. Jr. or Pedro Vale Jr. Um, he's worked on Superman and Batman and other titles. This is a Batman versus the Predator that he did a while back. This is a recreation piece. It's actually a little bit older, but I don't think many people have seen this piece from me before. Sorry about the reflection. Let's see if I can. It makes it a little bit more difficult there, but yeah. That's one thing I don't like about this light at nighttime. And this is all me for a Superman piece. Me doing my Burn Perez mix style. And then we have a Color Colossus piece that I did as well. So again, sorry about the reflection. So that's some of the artwork I've been getting done in recent times. And those will be available. Again, you can just contact me at the email address you see on the screen. I'm not sure if there's any others back here. I'm going to check real quick. We still have the Martian Jones piece that I did over Mark's from Mark's book, from Martian Jones for Gladstone School for World Conquerors. I don't know if you guys remember seeing this or not. I'm trying to get it where his face is not blocked. There you go. And then that was the color print version of it that Mark had done. That's still I don't have the print. The print's not for sale. It's my only one. You have to get a hold of Mark or Armand about that. We do have a few other pieces back here, actually, that I worked on. I think. Let me see if there's. Did I hear it barking? Or is that your chair?
It might be my chair.
Okay. Nope, that's it. That's everything that was new. So that's some of the stuff I've been doing over the last few months. There's a few other things that I don't have readily available to show. One thing I am working on, of course, is the artwork for the animation work. And the gentleman that's working with me on the graphics will be on the show as a guest up the road. Partly to talk about that process and partly to talk about his comic series, which John and I have both seen. And he also had a CD with his comic, and we'll review the music on that as well. So that's one of our guests for the future when we're all ready to do that. I see privately Mark and John are having this wonderful conversation. But of course, Mark is hang out with his girlfriend out in I'm trying to think where you guys are these days. Where are you now? I'm trying to remember. Are you in the Philippines or are you in South Korea, maybe? Mm-hmm. I don't know, something like that. They teach English as a second language over there, so. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff we're doing. And another piece that I'm going to be working on. for a live draw. This is something that's in the middle of working on. It's a Thor piece I'm working on. As you can see, there's Asgard with the Rainbow Bridge, and he's coming off the Rainbow Bridge. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do the Kirby Crackle. I don't know if I'm going to make it work or not. We're going to try. I do need to rework that rainbow line art. That's not quite right. Obviously, it needs to be redrawn for the line art there. Thank goodness that's in pencil so I can erase it and correct it. But yeah, as I go into inking, I'll get that done. But that's the current piece on my board. And he's outside of Bangkok. Okay. And she's a professor, right? So there you go. So that's what I'm up to as far as my artwork right now. There we go. This light. I need to get a new light. So again, and Mark does have a book. His newest Gladstone School for World Conquerors book. There was a printing glitch, and they're in the process of getting it fixed. As soon as it's taken care of, the books will be shipped out. There's been some issues with that. That's not something he really has been able to control. When he's where he's at, the printers in China, the artists, Armand's here in America. It's a little bit. Things get hung up a little bit, unfortunately. But as soon as everything gets resolved, that'll be out there for those of you who backed that campaign. So please be patient with them. They are trying to get it done for you. I can't remember the name of it. It's been so long. Do you remember the name of it, John?
Any of what?
The name of Mark's latest Gladstone's issue.
Oh no, I don't remember.
Okay. He'll tell us in a second, I'm sure. But yeah, we've been doing that, and some people asked me about Ted Davies. If I ever got the not the snow globe, but that type of thing with the character that I'd ordered of his spirit character. And no, I haven't yet. I think he's still in the middle of getting the figures painted by hand. I think he's doing those, and I think as soon as he gets those done, I'll get mine, I hope. But when I get them, I'll certainly share them with everyone. But thank you for asking me about Ted's project as well. Yeah, Gladstone's Revenge, that's what it was. So I should have known that. I don't know why I couldn't. I know it was something revenge, and like, was it? And I kept trying to think it was a different character's revenge, but it's actually, But anyway, again, as soon as Mark and Armand get that resolved, that'll be out there for you guys. And I'm sure I'll talk to Ted and find out how soon he gets the figurine finished as well. Okay, I think that's pretty much all for this episode, folks. Again, thank you to all the new subscribers who came in while I was away. Like I said, we had 13 or 14 new subscribers. I'm sorry I didn't acknowledge you when you joined. I didn't get informed by YouTube or StreamYard or anybody that was happening. If I had known that, I would have probably at least popped in sooner than I had. And of course, as always, thank you for watching this episode. We'll be back probably, like I said, either the 17th or the 20th to start the new season. We're going to talk about crowdfunding, of course. We'll start doing reviews of some of the stuff that I've gotten from crowdfunding while I was away, and we'll review some current campaigns as well. So that's what we'll do first, probably. And if we don't do that first, then we'll do our Thursday night discussion, and we'll see what goes on with that. So in the meantime, I'm trying to get this silly machine to work. It has been so long since I've done this. It takes a long time. If you like this video, or you think others might, please do us a favor and hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons to continue to get content from my channel. As always, I thank you for your time and your support. Mark says, have a great day. To reach out to me on social media, on Facebook, Lewis.BrightRaven, and Twitter at LewisBrightRave2. I don't really do a whole lot of tweeting. I only mostly just mention when a new episode's going to be there. Socialize is best. Try and reach me out on Facebook. I do have an Instagram, but I don't use it all that much. So, there it is. See more of my artwork. You can go to deviantart.com/BrightRaven. For now, we're going to have a new address, and a new page, channel, and everything for that soon as well. You've been watching Quoth the Raven, Lewis Bright Raven, exclusively on YouTube. Questions, comments, Quoth the Raven LBR72@gmail.com is the place to reach me. If I'll get back to you through that channel, try lewisbrightraven@yahoo.com. And John can be reached at Gray Figaro at hotmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
There's how you reach John. If you want to chat to him about Disney comics or kids comics, he's more my resident expert on the kids comics in a way. He used to do a column called Comics in the Classroom. So, we'll try and do that a lot more and bring a lot of the all ages stuff. At least talk about it if we don't review it. We'll try and review what we can as we can acquire it. But, and again, if you are someone who wants to do this and you work in the business and you're making comics for kids, or someone who is, have them contact us and send us, previews or something. We'd be happy to review them. So that's all for now. As always, we thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.
See you, everybody.